Hey folks, today we're breaking down the real difference between squad and scrum. You've heard of scrum teams and you've heard of squads thanks to Spotify. But here's the misconception. The Spotify model has been adopted by over 10,000 teams worldwide, yet most of these teams still operate like traditional scrum teams, missing the whole point of autonomous squads. And this is where things go wrong. As Henrik Kniberg from Spotify explains, squads are basically mini startups. They have a clear mission and the autonomy to decide how to achieve it. But many teams ignore that autonomy and instead see squads as just a scrum team with a new name. Three key differences clarify the confusion. First, squads are mission driven, owning a product area long term. Our scrum teams are sprint driven, focused on features. Second, squads own the entire life cycle from discovery to deployment. Scrum teams own user stories. Third, squads choose their own tools and processes. Scrum teams follow the framework. So, to summarize, a squad is an organizational pattern built for autonomy and long term alignment. A Scrum team is a framework for delivering work in sprints. They are not the same thing. That's the surface. Let's dig into the actual structures. First, who's on the team? Both work with small, cross functional groups, but the size and ownership differ dramatically. Scrum teams cluster around 9 people, squads run 6 to 12. That range matters when you're shipping real software and need to maintain velocity without bottlenecks. Scrum defines three accountabilities. The product owner prioritizes the backlog, the Scrum Master ensures the team follows the framework, and the developers decide how to build each increment. These roles are fixed, you rarely see one person wearing two hats. Now compare that to a squad. On a Scrum team, titles are strict. Your accountability is your identity. But in a squad, the product owner role still exists, but there's no dedicated Scrum Master. Instead, the team shares facilitation. Everyone writes code, everyone tests, everyone owns the feature. Squads drop the Scrum Master title entirely. The team has cross functional autonomy, they own their decisions. They also own a feature area, not just a sprint backlog. That means they can pivot quickly when customer needs shift no handoffs or waiting for permission. The real difference goes beyond titles. With full ownership, squads ship features end to end, no handoffs between teams. So the role structure is fundamentally different. Next, how they plan their work. Now, how do they decide what to build? In Scrum, the answer is sprint planning every 2 weeks. The team commits to a backlog and the calendar dictates the rhythm. In a squad, the cadence is governed by the mission itself, not a time box. They may have 2 week sprints, but the focus is on delivering impact, not just completing tasks. Scrum ceremonies like sprint planning and retros are time boxed events. Squads streamline these. They replace the planning marathon with lightweight syncs, use async stand ups, and hold retros when a feature ships, not because the calendar says so. In Scrum, the backlog is a shared list that gets refined every sprint. Everything is estimated and ordered. In a squad, the backlog is mission driven. Features that don't align with the squad's purpose are deprioritized, even if they're high on some stakeholders' list. What do squads gain from this lean cadence? Developers spend more time coding, less time in status meetings. Feedback loops tighten because they ship to real users faster. And when the market shifts, they can pivot the entire mission without waiting for the next sprint planning. Teams operating on a mission driven cadence deliver 1.5 times faster on average. That's what makes Squad feel more like a product team than a project team. The real magic of the Squad model is autonomy. Unlike traditional Scrum teams that wait for a product owner to prioritize a shared backlog, a squad owns its mission end to end. They decide what to build, how to build it, and when to ship. This gives them startup like speed and morale. To keep this autonomy from turning into anarchy, Spotify built three lightweight structures. Chapters are weekly syncs for developers with the same skill set. Tribes group up to 8 squads around a common product area, and guilds are voluntary communities of practice that anyone can join. Spotify now runs over 600 squads globally. Each squad operates as an independent startup, yet they align through these structures. The result? Teams that move fast without stepping on each other's toes. This model has been adopted by companies like ING, Zappos, and others because it balances freedom with coordination. It's a proven pattern for scaling agile. As Spotify's engineering culture states, the squad is the smallest unit of autonomy, but it operates within a tight alignment framework. That framework is what prevents chaos while preserving speed. This leads to a different type of collaboration. What does the data say about companies that tried Squad? A comprehensive survey of over 1,000 organizations shows that 70% of Squad adopters saw a significant improvement in their delivery speed compared to their previous Scrum setup. This jump in velocity is a game changer for many product teams. But here's the catch: the same survey found that 40% of those same teams reported significant alignment issues, especially when squads lacked a clear mission. This shows that speed without cohesion creates more problems. Companies like ING and UBS adopted squads with a strong emphasis on alignment. They established clear tribe missions and regular syncs. In contrast, teams that skipped this step saw coordination breakdowns and duplicated work. Spotify's own engineering blog highlights that squads need a well defined mission boundary to avoid overlap. The data makes one thing clear: squads are not a silver bullet. When they work, they deliver twice the output of traditional teams, but without intentional culture and alignment, failure rates spike. So, squads can scale, but only with the right culture. So, which one should you choose? Scrum fits stable products with clear requirements, especially in regulated industries. Squad shines when you need continuous discovery and fast iteration. The key is aligning the framework with your team's context and market demand. Look at product stability, clear requirements. Choose a Scrum. Team maturity. New teams need Scrum's structure. Experienced teams can handle squad autonomy. Industry. Regulated sectors favor Scrum. Many orgs start with Scrum and later evolve to squads. And the data backs it up. According to the latest State of Agile report, over 60% of teams now use a hybrid of Scrum and Squad elements. Pure adoption is actually the exception. This isn't a binary choice, it's a spectrum. Most teams pick and choose what works for their specific context. Many teams wonder whether to start with Scrum or go straight to squads. Starting with Scrum gives you a safety net processes and ceremonies that help new teams find their rhythm. Then you can gradually shift to squads for more autonomy. Starting directly with squads works only if your team is already experienced and your culture supports self management. When choosing between Scrum and Squad, don't overlook culture. McKinsey research shows that 94% of agile transformation success depends on culture, not the framework. That's the trade off. And the last piece is the underlying culture. Ultimately, the difference comes down to culture. McKinsey data shows that 70% of large scale change programs fail precisely because leaders ignore the human side of the equation, and that includes adopting squads. What distinguishes a squad ready environment? Look for three indicators. First, high trust between product and engineering, no micromanagement. Second, teams are given real autonomy without layers of approval. Third, a bias toward experimentation over rigid process compliance. As Marty Kagan puts it, the best product teams are given problems to solve, not features to build. That shift from output to outcome is exactly the cultural leap that squads require. But Scrum often misses. So, which culture is right for you? Scrum offers a framework driven approach where process ensures consistency. Squads offer a philosophy driven approach where principles guide decisions and trust enable speed. The difference is not in the rituals, it's in the mindset. Looking ahead, the smartest organizations are blending both approaches. They use Scrum's ceremonies for cadence, but give teams squad like autonomy, but only after building a strong culture. And that's the key takeaway for your team. And that's the breakdown. Subscribe to this channel for stay informed on AI updates. Catch you in the next one.